Hello dear learners, welcome to the Influence Mastery Summit with me, Michael Teo, the founder of Thriving Talents, and it's our great pleasure to have a leader with a great stature and a great responsibility not only for the country but also managing the world's most reputable brands. With me today is Dato Seri Muhammad Azahari Kamil. Now for those of you who are outside of Malaysia who may not be familiar with our protocol, Dato Seri is a title that has been honored to an individual who has actually contributed significantly to the growth, prosperity of the country. And guess what? Dato Seri Azahari right now, he is the managing director of QSR Brands. Now, QSR Brands owns the world's most reputable brands right here in Malaysia, which includes KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Pizza Hut, Life, you know, all those tomato, chili sauces, and Ayamas, which is our local proud brand. And why would I say that this individual right here deserves a Dato Seri title? It's like a knighthood for those of you who are from the UK. Dato Seri today manages 35,000 staff across 1,290 outlets or stores spread out in Malaysia and Singapore. And I've also been told, Dato Seri, that QSR Brands, which owns KFC's rights here in Malaysia, also manages the KFCs, the Pizza Huts, all the way in Malaysia, as I've mentioned, in Singapore, in Cambodia, and also in Brunei. So, Dato Seri, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you
again, Dato Seri.
It's a great honor for me. Thank you.
It's an honor for us, a humbling experience to be in your presence as well.
Thank you.
Dato Seri, managing 35,000 people, 1,290 outlets. I need to ask, because this is a summit designed to reach out to all the learners, to teach them about how to become more influential, how to become a better leader in their lives. My first question to you, Dato Seri, you manage 35,000 people, more than 1,000 outlets. You need to trust leaders either in your own levels, the C levels, or leaders whom you empower to run your businesses in the different stores. I'd like to ask, how do you influence and motivate them so that they continuously deliver excellent service, excellent leadership in the way how they lead their people? Because managing 35,000, that's a whole lot of people. So how do you work and influence your fellow leaders so that they're motivated to lead better as well, Dato Seri?
Managing 35,000 people is not an easy task. You need to have the right wisdom to make sure you must be able to engage with all levels of the staff, right from the crew until the CEOs of both upstream and downstream. The art of communication and the art of leadership must always be exemplified to them in the sense that you have to lead by example. You need to provide them with the right guidance, you need to provide them with the right wisdom, and more importantly is you need to equip them with the right knowledge and the skill set for them to engage with all the levels of the staff. And upstream and downstream, as you know, is also very challenging. Upstream is where we have right from the breeder to the hatchery, to the broiler, and up to the processing plants of the chickens, and downstream is the restaurants. And this is where the art of communication and the integration between downstream and upstream, the leadership skills to engage with each other to ensure that we have a smooth operation right from upstream to downstream to make sure that we are able to serve our customers well at all times is core. And that can only be achieved provided that we have unity, we have a sense of the same wisdom, and most importantly, with the right leadership skills and the right motivation to all our staff. And we must always emphasize that in KFC and both Pizza Hut and Ayamas, we always emphasize on the spirit of working together as a family. And when you work together as a family, you develop your entrepreneurship skill and you treat the family as if the company belongs to you. So if that spirit of entrepreneurship is strengthened, therefore you will have all the resources and the ability to manage organization efficiently.
Dato Seri, I have a question. One thing I really like about your most recent reply just now, it was golden by the way, thank you. You mentioned about wisdom, and I know that a lot of our learners watching right now, they would want to know what is wisdom, because it's such a huge word. Normally they think that wisdom is accounted for leaders who have had a great track record like your good self, Dato Seri. But if you could scheme down a little and further emphasize what is wisdom, and how does one person starting off as an executive or an entrepreneur, how do they develop their wisdom to really unite their staff, the people who works for them, as one united family? So what is wisdom, Dato Seri, if you could instill it for us?
I put it in very simple lay terms. It's a win-win situation for all parties.
Win-win.
Whereby when you use wisdom, it is not going to be a winner and a loser. There's going to be both winners. So when you articulate that wisdom, it has to come with empathy. It has to come right from the heart. Leadership from the heart is very critical in order for you to emphasize and make sure wisdom works. Without leadership from the heart, wisdom doesn't work. You must feel for the organization, and you must feel for all the parties involved in any negotiation or any businesses that you do. You must treat them as part of the family, and that is wisdom. When you have got this family thinking, whereby we work together as a team, it is the team that will make the organization successful. It is no one single individual that is indispensable in the efficiency process.
Wow, amazing, Dato Sri. Dato Sri, moving on.
Yeah.
There's always this challenge, or there's always this mindset that people always have. Here you are, you're the managing director, managing the world's most reputable, most loved brands. I'm a fan of KFC and Pizza Hut as well, truth be told. And then what happened is that there's always that little challenge. They say, here you are, you're sitting at your high chair, you're the managing director. Here you have 35,000 employees who are serving your customers. And again, as much as KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, as an example, Dato Sri, it's in the business of selling very nice fried chicken, but it's still a customer service business. Meaning you would still rely on your frontliners, your servers, your waitresses, your cashiers to give a good time to your visiting customers. I'd like to ask, as a leader, overseeing 35,000 people, 1,200 over stores across so many countries, how did you make sure that you're able to motivate those frontliners? Because people always say, the CEO or the managing director of a huge company, there's a huge distance from the managing director, from the leadership team to the frontliners. How do you bridge that? Because I can feel a lot of sincerity from your sharing. Share with us, what are your thoughts, Dato Sri?
I always believe that the employees are the core people that will make the organization great. So we treat our employees very well, because a happy employee will translate to a happy customer. So therefore, to motivate the employees, this is where we organize forums, we organize family togethers, family get-togethers. We have our own treasure hunts with all our employees. We engage with them. I go down to the ground, speak to the crew, understand the challenges, work with them. Because if you feel for them and you work with them, then only we understand the challenges. And when we understand the challenges, we are able to provide solution to address the issues at heart. Because if you don't move on the ground, and if you don't move down from your ivory tower to sit together with your crew, you will not be able to understand from their perspective the challenges that they are facing. So if you're able to find solutions to work with them, to make sure that we provide the right ambience, the right environment, the right skill set for them to work, and provide them with the constant motivation. And this is where they will feel honored. And if they feel honored, they want to work with you to make sure that we are working together to make QSR a great company. And this not only involves them, we involve their family members. We want to know how their wives, how their husbands, how their children, how their grandchildren are doing in the business. If there's anything we can help. That is why during the fasting month particularly, we want to engage with the families much closer. Because we want to know each and every one of the family members is part of the group. We don't treat the employee as part of the family, but we take all the extended family as a part of the QSR family. And if you work well with the family, like I said, a happy husband that goes to work and pleasing the family, he comes to work, he is focused on developing the best. But if he's unhappy at his home, he comes to work, and the spillover will be unhappy customers. So this is very important. You need to understand the root cause of the happiness, and this is where I always emphasize to all my leaders that we always gauge the customer satisfaction by gauging the happy index of our employees.
Amazing, Dato Sri. Dato Sri, you spoke with a lot of charisma at the same time.
Thank you.
If you were to advise a group of young leaders or aspiring young leaders, take it entrepreneurs, take it corporate executives, or even people who aspire to be in civil service, charisma is very important, Dato Sri. Obviously, you have that. Dato Sri, how does one develop charisma in their career from your experience, Dato Sri?
The charisma, I think it is very important to develop the sense of integrity. You need to lead by example. You need to walk the talk. If you say that you want to do something right, get it done the right way. Engage with people. Make people understand why are you doing this. Because if there is a buy-in from all the others, a leader can only be great if they have followers. If you are a leader without a follower, then I don't know whether you're a leader or not. So you must have followers. For you to engage with the followers, you must set the right role model. You must always engage and understand and always convince them that buy-in. So if any business model that you want to adopt, for you to get that charisma, that buy-in, they must look upon you as a success. That you are able to now tell them the success story that you have done before, that you have implemented a business model, and it works. Of course, there's a lot of hard work. Nothing comes easy in life. There will be hard work, there will be compromise, there will be a need for even to look into a situation where there will be a winner and loser. But never allow the loser to lose out. That's a very important phrase. A loser cannot lose out. Because you lose out only in one incident. But there are many opportunities for you to relearn, unlearn, and relearn. Learn, relearn, unlearn. And that is part and parcel of growing your career. So if you're able to emulate all these three principles of learning, that means learning, relearning, and unlearning. And quickly, upon that process, do a good reflection about yourself as a leader and put yourself in their shoes. If you're able to do it well, then the feeling will be mutual and you will be able to provide the right guidance and the right leadership, and charisma will come in automatic.
Dato Sri, you talked about charisma, having integrity. I really echo that as well. And you talk about us needing to develop followers. And followers, one thing you mentioned, Dato Sri, was because of our success. But success comes from sacrifice. Taking that first step towards exploring or endeavoring into any form of success, Dato Sri, we need to take risk. And risk comes from how confident we are to take risk. Like Dato Sri, I'm curious, you are now leading 35,000 people. You are taking risks every day. 35,000 lives, 1,200 stores across so many countries. Dato Sri, I'd like to ask you, in your personal opinion, how did you boost your confidence every single day to make difficult decisions, have difficult conversations, basically to do the right thing for QSR brands, which again owns and manages KFC, Pizza Hut, Life, Ayamas across this region in Southeast Asia? How do you boost your confidence, Dato Sri? Any ritual that you do?
I guess to me, it boils down to the one question of leadership that will make you great and sustainable is the fear of God.
Fear of God?
If you have the fear of God, definitely you want to do the right things to please God.
Right.
And when you want to please God, definitely humanity will also be pleased in that process.
Yes.
It is very important that if you show that there's always a leader on top of you that is overseeing whatever you do. And it is very important that whatever decision you make, you must be able to contribute to society at large. We as leaders, we are not here to please everyone in this world.
That's right.
There'll be some difficult decisions that you have to make that will affect others. But on a global front, you have to look at it whether the majority will benefit.
That's right.
If the majority benefit and the spillover is going to be tremendous, there will be always a few of the minorities which will not be happy. Right. But you must not forget the minority. You must constantly engage with them in order to convince them that you are in the right direction.
That's right.
It is challenging. It is daunting sometimes. Sometimes it's a game that you think that you will not want to waste your time. But it is also very important to understand that with one single individual that is not happy, it can create a lot of effect on the credibility of the organization, because he goes around bad-mouthing the organization.
Right.
If you are able to identify a group of these people, always engage with them.
Right.
Be friends with them.
Right.
Be honest with them.
Right.
And I bet you, within a question of time, they will be on your side.
Dato.
But the moment you become more arrogant, you move away from them, they will have their own pockets of unfriendliness, and these people are all leaders in their own capacity.
Right.
They will also be able to influence, to take out those people that have already bought in your business model. They will bring them to the other side. So you need to manage them delicately, and leadership is all about this managing of people.
Right.
And people come in different sizes, in different temperaments, but we as leaders, we must always be human about it and understand we ourselves have got our own weaknesses. For as long as you're able to articulate that weaknesses more than your strength,
Yes.
people will look at you as a humble person. And for leadership to succeed, humility is key.
Amazing. Dato Sri. Dato Sri, talking about leadership, some people say to be a good leader, they need to be someone like yourself, Dato Sri. Very articulate, a great communicator. I mean, I'm impressed, I'm inspired right here. Dato Sri, in your mind, just a simple question. What makes a great communicator?
Is the ability to engage from the heart.
Wow.
It is not about the semantics. It is about the ability to communicate what your heart tells you to communicate. Because the heart is the most sincere part of the body, not the brain. The brain is messed up with so many challenges, with so many information that they need to digest. The heart is the one that provides you with the purity and sincerity in your judgment and your wisdom.
Amazing, Dato Sri. Dato Sri, we are heading to the final few questions. Again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
My next question is, Dato Sri, let's say today you have been tasked with a daunting task to look for a successor, to manage this huge repertoire of brands, manage thousands and thousands of lives. It's a ripple effect, right? You impact 35,000 people, but you impact hundreds and thousands more through their families as well, like you mentioned, Dato Sri. If you were to look for a successor today, what are the 3 traits that you'll be looking for among those people whom you would consider as a successor? Top 3 traits, Dato Sri.
Number 1, fear of God.
Fear of God.
Number 2, integrity.
Okay.
Number 3, leading from the heart and with the heart.
Wow, very powerful. Dato Sri, thank you so much for your sharing. My last question to you is, Dato Sri, if there's a young person that walk up to you and he or she is just starting out young, fresh, either in a new business or in a new corporate career, and he or she has that aspiration, I want to lead, and I want to lead from the heart. I need to develop influence to lead from the heart, to share with the world my passion, my values, my heart.
True.
How would Dato Sri advise them to lead through the heart? How can they be a leader like yourself, Dato Sri, managing 35,000 people across so many different facets of life, so many different countries? How would you advise him or her on how to lead from the heart, Dato Sri, to become more influential?
To become more influential is basically you need to be the role model so that people will emulate your style.
Right.
And it's very important that you have to always display the success for you to be the role model.
Interesting.
The engagement is also very important. So any business model that you want to engage,
Yes.
anything that you want to implement, it is very important that you need to engage with the staff, explain the rationale,
Right.
tell them the strength of this business model,
That's right.
and also the weaknesses and the risk that you are going to take.
Right.
But sometimes you in business, you have to take risks,
Yeah.
but it has to be calculated.
Right.
You must look at the possible downside,
Yeah.
and also you must have mitigation. If this happens, what will happen eventually?
Right.
So you must have all these business continuity models all in place for you to be an influencer.
Yes.
So the moment people look at you as a success business model, you do 1 or 2 or 3 of the programs that you do, and you do it well, you execute it well,
Yes.
and you do it together as a team,
The team. Yeah.
not alone.
Yeah.
Because once you create that indispensability, then you are not a leader.
Oh, interesting.
The ability to now engage and convince others to emulate your business model, that is leadership.
Powerful.
Because once you're able to convince them of the success story,
Yeah.
they will want to do it.
Yes.
But if you are not able to be sustainable in your success, you do this business model, it fail. But never give up. Constantly do it. There'll be 1 or 2 that out of the 10 you will do will fail because we are not God.
Yeah.
I always believe in the principle of don't try to perfect perfection.
Interesting.
Don't try to perfect perfection. The role of perfecting perfection is only in the hands of God.
Right.
We are normal human beings.
Yes.
There will be challenges that you will fail, and that is good.
Yeah.
But you take failure with the opportunity to make sure that it will not happen again. You learn from the failure.
So true.
So these learnings are very important.
Yes.
So if you're able to display to your staff,
Yes.
these people will definitely want to be with you, and you can influence them also to be leaders.
Yes.
But during that process, you need to empower them
Very true.
and give them that responsibility. Take the responsibility, take the risk, but at the end of the day, be accountable.
Thank you, Dato Sri. Dato Sri, I hope you have time for one last question. It's a bonus one that just came to my mind.
All right.
I have not asked this question to any of the CEOs or entrepreneurs we've interviewed. There's just that feeling, that gut feel that I need to ask you, Dato Sri, because this question was asked to Jack Ma in Korea when he was giving a talk to a group of young millennials who are starting out. Dato Sri, how would you advise a millennial, a young person who's starting out their career, who's going to take that first plunge into their job, and most of the time people are afraid that they'll be making the wrong choice? What if they don't start out right? And this question was asked to Jack Ma. What would your advice be to a young person who's going to start out on his career or her career? What should he or she be looking for when they start so that they don't start out wrongly? What's your advice, Dato Sri?
Have the right attitude.
Have the right attitude.
Have the motivation to learn.
Okay.
Be humble.
Okay.
Ask the right questions.
Right.
Ask the wrong questions. It doesn't matter. Don't be shy. Because if you are shy, you get lost along the journey.
Okay.
The journey of career is all about making mistakes. Because the moment you make more mistakes, the better you become. Because these are the learnings that will make you extraordinary.
Right.
Because if you don't fail, then you will not be able to measure what success is all about.
Amazing.
I have gone through so many failures in life, both in the corporate world, in family life. We go through all the failures.
Yes.
But I never give up, because by giving up is the most sinful thing that you ever can do. Never give up. It's most sinful. For as long as you have got the breath and the courage to move on, continue this journey. Because this journey will have its tribulation, its ups and downs. But the one that makes it exciting are the failures. Because if you're able to cope up with all the failures and yet move up and stand tall again, you are number one. And that is true leadership.
Dato Sri.
Thank you.
Azahari, Kamil, thank you so much, Dato Sri, for investing your time here with us.
Thank you very
and I'm pretty
much.
sure all the learners watching from all around the world have learned, I've learned a lot from the managing director of QSR Brands, who manages KFC, Pizza Hut, Ayamas, and Life across Malaysia and in Singapore, Brunei, and also in Cambodia. It's an honor to have you here,
Thank you
Dato
very
Sri.
much.
Thank you again. And for all of you, stay tuned for the Influence Mastery Summit as we bring you more golden opportunities to learn so that you could enhance your confidence, boost your charisma, and had a great start or an acceleration in your career. Michael Teo from Thriving Talents signing off. Take care, everybody.